Hi guys, I'm back. I was having some issue with the video feed that had not happened before. But for those who are watching, yeah, if the mic is not working, please say something in the comment box. And yeah, we've gone a bit over, but I don't know how much of what you got I said, but this is going to be a fun flow just to get a little bit of mobility and a bit of fluidity through the shoulders, through the hips, and through the spine. So how we're going to start is in a shavasana. And in shavasana, in case you're not sure, you're going to be coming onto your mat, and then you're going to be lowering down and lying down. And from there, just closing your eyes. And once you've found a very comfortable position on your mat or on the floor, just allow yourself to relax into your body and try and remove any sort of tension you're holding. Feel very supported by the floor. Start to direct your awareness to your breath and channel that breath deep down into the belly. Feel for the expansion of the belly on the in-breath, almost like you're filling up a balloon. And if you want to place your hands on your belly to get a more tactile feeling, do so. And on the out-breath, just releasing. And for now, the focus is just to slow down your breath and deepen it. If you feel sleepy or tired and you feel like your body wants to go or your mind wants to go to sleep, try not to fight it. You will wake up when nature intends. And then from here, direct your awareness to your heartbeat. And start to notice whether your heartbeat might slow down as you deepen the breath. From there, move your awareness down to your toes. Just gently start to wiggle your toes. And now starting to do a bit of a body scan. On the next in-breath, squeeze the muscles in the feet. Find that activation through the muscles in the feet. And on the next out-breath, release. And now in your own time, start to move through the body. On the next in-breath, squeezing the muscles in the legs, so the calf muscles. And then the out-breath, release. Move up now to the upper limbs or the upper legs. Once again, finding that activation on the in-breath. And gently letting it go on the out-breath. And then moving up through the body in your own time, doing the same thing. This is to give you a sense of the amount of control that you actually have over your body. And by the time you reach your face, make sure you aren't holding any tension in the jaw. Make sure you're not gritting your teeth. Gently start to roll your tongue over your teeth. And start to move the eyeballs left and right, up and down. back and forth, clockwise and counterclockwise. Take a very deep breath in, filling up the lungs, filling up the belly. Gently sigh it all out through the mouth. Taking another very deep breath in. Stay with that breath for slightly longer. Slightly more powerfully, sighing it all out through the mouth. Doing this for one last time in your own time. A deep breath in, fill up the lungs, fill up the belly. Staying with this breath for as long as you feel comfortable, and when your body tells you, very powerfully, sighing it all out through the mouth, start to bring your big toes to touch, point the toes to the bottom of the floor or your mat, and then start to take your arms over your head, stretching out and lengthen, open through the front body as you do this. Get a sense of length through the spine, through the legs, and through the arms. Feel as your upper body starts to open up. Taking a few deep breaths here, feel as you can channel more breath into the lungs. Just playing with that breath for a little bit. And then from there, when you're ready, starting to gently draw your knees in towards your chest and using your hands, pulling your knees into the center line, giving yourself a bit of a squeeze. You should feel a little bit of a stretch through the lower back, through your glutes. And if it feels good to do so, roll from side to side, giving your back a massage. And then from there, when you're ready, roll onto left side or right side, and you're going to come up onto your mat. And coming into a box shape on your hands and on your knees, making sure that the wrists are stacking underneath the shoulders and the knees are stacking underneath the hips. The hands are shoulder width apart and the knees are hip width apart. If you look in between your legs, you should not see your feet. Grip into the floor, make sure that your index fingers are parallel to one another. Starting to warm up the spine by going into extension and flexion. On the inhale, come into a cow stretch. Bring your scapula towards each other. Look forward. Try and keep your core active. And on the exhale, broaden through the back. Stretch like a cat. Push the floor away from you. Arch through the spine. Keep the core active. Now linking your breath to your movement and allowing yourself to move through cat stretch and cow stretch. Just moving through this in your own time. Starting to bring life through the body and warming up the spine, warming up the core, warming up shoulders and hips. Try and really articulate through each part of the spine as much as you can. Try and slow down the movement and notice if you can move one vertebra at a time. As challenging as that might feel, try it anyway. Check in with your breath. And once you've done a few more, now you're going to start to freestyle through the movement and then move in any way that feels good. So now allow your bodily intuition to move you. It might move you left or right, up and down. You might circle through the hips. You might bend the arms. You might move the neck. But allow yourself to move in any way that feels good in the body. Pushing back or pushing forward, taking a child's pose. Anything that feels good. And then from there, when you're done, coming back to a neutral box position, what we're going to do is we're just going to roll through the shoulders. So you're going to start to form circles with your shoulders,
Just rolling through the shoulders, you'll notice your spine starts to move as well. So shrugging the shoulders up, rolling them back and forth in a circular motion. Make sure you're not feeling any sort of discomfort through the shoulders. This is going to be very good to loosen up the muscles surrounding the neck and surrounding the shoulder girdle. And then reverse the motion, rotate the shoulders the other way, and you'll notice your spine moves as well. And once you've done a few of those, you're going to come back into your box. Find the cat spine, extend right leg towards the back, coming onto the ball of the feet. Maintain that cat spine, maintain that strength through the front body, core remains active. Extend the opposite leg towards the back. You're in a high plank or a high push-up. Staying nice and strong, grip into the floor. Try and make sure that your shoulders remain stacked over your wrists. If that feels too uncomfortable, push slightly back. You're going to stay in this for as long as you feel comfortable to do so. Try and breathe normally. And when your body tells you, start to push back into downward facing dog. Lower the heels down towards the floor. Pushing the wrists away from the shoulders. Direct your gaze towards your navel. Get the feeling like you're trying to tear your mat in half. So you're spreading or stretching the mat. And once you're in that down dog, now start to explore that down dog. Move in any way that feels good in the body. It might be shaking the head. It might be moving the hips if you want to maybe have a look at how I'm doing it. But it's anything where your body is moving you and moving you in any way that feels good. Exploring, understanding what parts of the body might be feeling tight or sore or restricted in any way. And then once you're done, back into that downward facing dog. Starting to inhale and rise up onto the balls of the feet, finding your cat's spine. Tuck your pubic bone towards your navel. Feel as your spine wants to start to roll forward. You're coming back into that high plank. Lower the knees down, untuck the toes. You're coming into an assisted plank. Maintain the cat spine. And on the exhale, gently bend the elbows, lowering down. Knees, chin, chest, or chaturanga. And then coming into a gentle back bend. Activate your core, activate your glutes. Start to rise up into your cobra pose. Pull the shoulder blades back and down. Make sure it's your back muscles doing the work. Lift your arms off the ground. Hold there. 2, 1, exhale, lower the forehead back down. Activate the core, taking a deep breath in, and on the exhale, push back into your assisted plank. And then from there, pushing back into downward facing dog. From down dog, starting to lower the knees down to the side of your mat. Bring your big toes to touch. Push the heels back, or push the buttocks onto the heels. And then from there, gently start to lower yourself down into a child's pose. Relax and release. Check in with your breath. And check in with your heartbeats. From there, keeping that lower body as an anchor, start to walk your hands towards your left side. Walk your forehead towards your left knee as you stretch out towards that left side, opening up the right side of the rib cage. Try and maintain the space through the left side of the rib cage. Feel for the stretch that happens through the right side of the body. On the next inhale, start to come back towards center, and then taking the same variation, walk the hands towards the right side, walk the forehead towards the right knee. Open up through the left side of the body. Maintain the space through the right side. Feel for the stretch through that left side. Starting to come back towards center. Taking a very deep breath in, and then on the exhale, start to pull yourself back up. Starting into a box, and then pushing back into downward facing dog. And then from here, beginning to walk your feet forward. And then when your feet meet your hands, fold forward. Keep a bend in the knees if your lower back is feeling a little bit tight and restricted. Grab onto the opposite elbows and sway from side to side. From there, lower the hands down towards the floor. Pull your chin in towards your chest. Direct your awareness to the base of your spine. And then start to move that awareness up. And as you move that awareness, begin to uncurl and stack the vertebra, bringing the spine into neutral. The chin will be the last thing that leaves the chest. Once the spine finds neutral, looking forward and then starting to inhale and take the arms up and overhead, lengthen through the spine, reach for the sky. Pull your glutes in, pull your core in. Get a feeling like somebody is pulling your hands up towards the sky and pulling your legs down towards the floor. And then from there, on the next exhale, draw the palms into the heart center, starting to inhale and rise up onto the balls of your feet. Find your balance, see if you can maintain it. Notice if you can transfer your weight into the big toes. And then on the exhale, lower the heels down towards the floor. Bring your palms to your sides. So like I said, today we're going to be working on getting a little bit of stretch and openness through the hips, through the shoulders. We've warmed up the spine nicely. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to take your right leg and cross it in front of your left. Try and bring the knees to stack. Your toes will still be pointing forwards. And then from here, you're going to start to take your right arm up and overhead, reaching for the sky, lengthen through the spine. Notice how you'll open up through that right side of the rib cage. From here, taking your left hand, start at the shoulder, and then start to gently brush that hand up towards the wrist on the right side. And then from here, what we're going to do is we're going to extend the spine out towards the left side, almost like we're trying to reach for the top of the ceiling. Start to feel for that opening through the right side of the body. Try and breathe through the right side of the rib cage, opening up as you do. And then from there, on the next inhale, come back towards center. Keeping that cross in the legs, hinge from the hips. You're going to start to swan dive the arms, lower the hands down, and then pull the chin in towards the chest as we come into a modified forward fold. Allow yourself to relax into the stretch as much as you can. And then from there, nice and slow, begin to uncurl, direct your awareness to the base of the spine, move that awareness up nice and slow. One vertebra at a time. The chin will be the last thing that leaves the chest. Find that neutral, take the arms out towards the side, pull the scapula towards each other. Starting to inhale, take the arms up and overhead, reach for the sky, lengthen through the spine. And then on the exhale, start to draw the palms into the heart center. From here, coming onto the edges of your feet and using your hands if you need to, what you're going to do is you're going to start to use your hands and then start to lower yourself into a comfortable cross-legged seated position. And remember, if your hips are tight, sit on a cushion or on a pillow to allow you to create more space in the hips. So at the moment, we've got right shin in front of left. And then from there, we're going to start to inhale and take the arms up and overhead, lengthening through the spine, reaching for the sky. Try and keep the core nice and active. At the same time, try and pull your knees down towards the floor. And then hinge from the hips. Move forward. And then lower the hands down. And then lower the chin in towards the chest as you come into a forward fold. You should start to feel a little bit of a stretch through the outside of the hips. And what we're doing is we're working on lengthening or opening up the hips in terms of external rotation and working on opening up the muscles of the glute maximus and glute medius. Try and relax into the stretch as much as you can. On the next exhale, start to walk your hands towards your left side. Walk your forehead towards your left knee. Fold forward.
On the next inhale, start to come back towards center. On the next exhale, start to walk your hands towards the opposite knee and fold forward. On the next inhale, start to come back towards center. And almost like you're doing it in a standing pose, pull your chin in towards the chest. Start to draw your hands back, uncurl the vertebra, stack, stack, stack. And then starting to inhale, taking the arms back up and overhead, bringing the palms to touch, bring the fingers to touch, and then pull the palms into the heart center. And then starting to place your hands down onto your knees. From here, we're just going to work on mobilizing those muscles around the shoulder girdle and the neck. So what you're going to do is you're going to start to roll the shoulders back in a nice deep rolling motion, just making sure you're not feeling any pain through the movement, but just starting to give ourselves a bit of a massage by getting those muscles to move. Sitting in front of a desk, very often we forget to move our bodies, and we get a bit stuck. This is just going to start to lubricate the joints and get the muscles and the fascia and all of the connective tissue moving and flowing. And if it feels good, maybe roll one shoulder back and then the other shoulder and then the other. And you'll notice that your spine starts to move in a different way. And once you're done now, changing the movement, so rotate the shoulders. If you rotate it clockwise, rotate counterclockwise, and vice versa. But just rolling the shoulders forward now, getting your spine involved as well. And then coming back to neutral spine, try and lengthen through the spine. And from here, you're going to take your right hand, grab onto your left knee, taking a deep breath in, lengthen through the spine. And on the exhale, brace the core and start to twist, looking towards the back, looking over your left shoulder. Starting to inhale, come back towards center. Opposite hand goes to opposite leg, so it's left arm to right knee. Lengthen through the spine, brace the core, exhale and twist. Now looking over your right shoulder, activating the core as you do this. On the next inhale, start to come back towards center. And then from here, taking the arms out towards the front. Almost like you're holding saucers in your hands. Bring the scapula off the back, really reaching forward with your shoulders. And then from there, on the inhale, start to pull your shoulder blades towards each other, pull the scapula towards each other, open up through the chest. Inhale, take the arms up and overhead, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, draw the palms into the heart center. Repeat. Extend, exhale. Inhale, open. Bring the palms up, bring the fingertips up. Exhale, draw the palms back down. Push the arms out. Inhale, open. Bring the palms up, exhale, push down. And this time, on the last time, hands come forward. From here, you're going to start to pull your hands back. Notice your elbows will go past your rib cage, and then extend the arms behind you. Lower the palms flat down, shoulder width apart. Start to open up through the chest, looking upwards. Feel for the opening that happens through the front body. Try and keep your core active as you do this. And then coming back into neutral and using your hands if you need to, starting to rise back up. And then undoing the legs. And I hope everybody is doing okay. If you're able to comment or feedback, do so. Else we're going to go for the opposite side. So now you're going to start to take the left knee, stack it in front of the right. The toes are going to be pointing forward as we did. And this time you're going to start to take the left hand up and overhead, reaching for the sky, lengthening through the spine, opening up through that side of the rib cage, keeping the core active. Now take your right hand towards that left shoulder, starting at the shoulder. Gently brush up towards the wrist. Pull that hand up and then side bend, starting to reach left hand towards the right side of the ceiling. Beginning to inhale, come back towards center, and then hinging from the hips, swan dive, the arms fold forward, lower the hands down, pull your chin in towards your chest. Pull your chin in towards your chest, direct your awareness to the base of your spine, and move that awareness up, nice and slow, uncurling, stacking, and rising. Spine finds neutral, looking forward. Inhale, take the arms out to the side, and then take the arms up and overhead, lengthen through the spine. Keep the core active. And on the exhale, draw the palms into the heart center. From here, coming onto the edges of your feet, as you did on the opposite side, and using your hands if you need to, starting to lower yourself down into a cross-legged position. This time you have left shin in front of right, or if you started the opposite way, then it's vice versa. Inhale, take the arms up and overhead, lengthen through the spine. On the exhale, start to hinge from the hips. Bring the arms forward, fold forward, pull the chin in towards the chest. Feel for the stretch that happens to the outside of the hips. On the next exhale, walk your hands towards your right side, walk your forehead towards your right knee and fold. On the inhale, start to come back towards center, and on the exhale, start to move your hands towards the left side. Move your forehead towards the left knee and fold. Start to inhale, come back towards center. Pull chin in towards chest, begin to uncurl, stack and rise. Starting to inhale, take the arms out towards the side, open up through the chest. And then bring the palms to touch, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, draw the palms into the heart center. And then once again, lowering the hands down on the knees and gently starting to roll the shoulders back. And then roll the shoulders forward. And then just going for a variation here. So you're going to start by taking the right hand out towards the front, reach up, and then you're going to start to bend the elbow, bring that hand down onto the center of your spine, just behind your neck. And then you're going to take the left hand, lift, and then grab onto that right elbow and gently pull that right elbow towards center. Feel for the stretch that happens to the right side of the body. And then from here, you're going to release that right hand and then see if you can take that right hand behind you. If you can clasp both hands together, do so. Else, just grab onto a piece of your t-shirt with both hands. And then from there, starting to release and going for the opposite side. Now taking the left arm up and overhead. Bending that elbow, bringing the left palm to the center of your spine, and then right hand grabs onto the left elbow, pull that elbow towards center. From there, releasing the right hand, see if you can take the right hand behind you, see if you can grab onto the hands. If you can't, just grab onto pieces of the shirt. And then from there, start to release. And then from here, you're gonna take your right hand, bringing it forward, and then start to hug that right hand in towards your chest, using your left hand to pull
that hand, you should feel a bit of a stretch through the outside of your shoulder. Starting to release, and now taking the left hand and hugging it in and doing the same thing, pulling, and you should feel a stretch through the outside of the left shoulder. Starting to release, and then pulling the hands forward, taking those arms back as far as you can, pull your scapula towards each other, take the hands behind you, open up through the chest, lifting the rib cage up towards the sky, open up through the chest, keep the core nice and active. If it feels good, taking your head all the way up, looking at the ceiling. And then from there, starting to release. And then as you did, using your hands if you need to, and then rise up. And then undo the legs. And lower down. Okay, so that was a little bit of hips and shoulders. So now I just want to work a little bit on energizing the body. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to start to lower down. Doesn't matter, but what you're going to do is you're going to be lowering down onto your mat, like so. And then you're going to see if you can place the feet flat down. And your legs are going to be hip-width apart. And then with the arms, you're going to be taking your fingers out to the side. Notice my arms are slightly more back, right? And from here, we're going to be coming into something known as an upward box. So try and open up through the chest, pull the shoulder blades towards each other. At the same time, now activate the core by pulling the ribs in. Tuck your tailbone, squeeze your glutes, press through the heels, feel your calves activate. And then you're going to see if you can start to lift nice and slow. Lift the pelvis up, drive the pelvis up towards the sky, opening up through the chest. On the exhale, nice and slow, lower yourself back down. We're going to try it again. So pull the scapula towards each other, grip into the floor, pull the ribcage in, tuck the tailbone, squeeze the glutes, drive through the heels, inhale, lift, drive the pelvis up, look up towards the sky if you can, open up through the chest, gently lower back down. And doing this for one last time. As we did, open up through the chest, core activates, glutes activate, inhale, lift, and open. And when you're ready, exhale, lower yourself back down, start to straighten your legs. Okay, so generally when we do any sort of spinal extension or extreme spinal extension or flexion, we come into a twist after that. So what you're going to do is you're going to draw your right knee into your chest, pull it in, keep the front foot or the left foot flexed, have a nice lengthened spine, and then from here, left hand is going to wrap onto that right knee. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, brace the core, and on the exhale, start to twist. Bring your left shoulder towards your right knee, look towards the right shoulder, twisting towards the back. That right hand gives you support as you twist. And on the exhale, you're going to start to come back towards center and then straighten that right leg. And then start to hug your left knee in towards your chest. Now keeping the right leg straight and flexed. Finding that lengthened spine, wrapping right hand around left knee. Taking a deep breath in, lengthen through the spine, brace the core. On the exhale, twist. Now bring right elbow towards left knee, placing that left hand down behind you. That's going to give you support coming into your twist. Starting to release, coming back to center. And then from here, we're going to be working on something known as upward plank, right? So it's basically an evolution of the upward box. If it feels too uncomfortable or you feel you can't hold it, you still have the option to use upward box. But for those of you who want to play with upward plank, here's what you're going to do. You're going to bring the big toes to touch, and then you're going to start to point the toes. And then, as we did, you're going to be taking the hands behind you, fingertips pointing out towards the side. The hands are going to be shoulder width apart. And then step one, open up through the chest, bring the scapula towards each other. Step two, pull the rib cage in, activate the core. The toes are pointing. Step three, squeeze the glutes. Step four, press into your heels. And as you press into your heels, you'll start to notice the hips and pelvis float off the ground. Open up through the chest. Try and drive the pelvis up, keeping the core active, keeping the rib cage pulled in. And on the exhale, as slow as you can, slow down the movement, lower yourself down. Relax. Two more in your own time. Inhale, open up through the chest, core activates. Pull tailbone towards navel. Activate the glutes, press into the heels, lift up. Drive the pelvis up, open up through the chest. Exhale, lower back down. So the key thing here is to keep the core as active as you can. Last time, once again, open up through the chest, core activates very strongly, glutes activate, drive through the heels, open through the chest. And you can see why it's called upward plank, because it looks like a plank, but the other way. Gently lower yourself back down, and then come back into neutral. And then from here, just going into a variation of the twist, you're now going to start to bring your right ankle and cross it, such that your right ankle is just above your left knee. The left foot is straight and flexed. The right foot is flat down with the toes pointing forward. You're going to pull yourself forward, hug that right knee into the chest. And then from here, you're going to take that left hand, reach for the sky. Your right hand is supporting you. And on the exhale, almost karate chop that hand down, bring that hand to the inside of the right knee, and then on the exhale, twist. Using that left elbow as a lever to go deeper into the twist, but don't overdo it. Starting to inhale, come back towards center, undo that right leg, bring the left ankle, stack it just above the right knee. Try and bring that foot flat down, keeping the right foot straight and flexed. And then from here, left hand goes out, right hand reaches for the sky, lengthen through the spine, and then karate chop that hand down, and then bend the elbow, and on the exhale, twist. Now twisting to the opposite side. And then starting to release under the legs. And it's that time, Shavasana, the most important and the most profound part of the class. Pointing the toes, start to try and glue your heels down into the mat. From here, finding a cat spine, reach for the front, and then using only your core muscles. Imagine you're uncurling like you would do from a forward fold. Lower one vertebra at a time onto the floor, and notice if you can keep the heels making contact with the mat as you do that. Nice and slow, core muscles engage, and then come into your Shavasana. Relax and release. Let everything go. From here, gently start to move your fingers and move your toes. Start to bring life back to your body. Start to bring the big toes to touch. Take a deep breath in. Take your arms over your head. Stretch and lengthen. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. And then using your right arm or your left arm as a pillow, whichever way is more convenient for you, roll onto your side. And when you're ready, coming back up into a comfortable seated position with your palms at your heart center and your eyes closed. Taking this moment to acknowledge the energy and the effort that you have put into your practice. Honor the warrior within you that strives to change that which you can change. Honor the yogi within you that accepts that which you cannot change. Cultivate the wisdom and the awareness to know the difference. Bring your palms to your forehead, to your lips, and back to your heart, gently blinking the eyes open. And I thank you for practicing. Okay, so guys, I hope that was enjoyable. Any comments or feedback is really, really appreciated. And what I wanted to talk about was I'm thinking of moving the Facebook Live session to more of a Skype type of vibe, because that allows me, well, number one, it allows me to interact with you a little bit more. I usually feel, or I still feel like I might be talking to myself, which is always interesting. But with the Skype session or even a Zoom session, I can then also play a bit of background music for you. And any comments are welcome. Any feedback is welcome. And the next session is Thursday at 6 o'clock as well. So that's more like a week wind down. Pretty similar, energizing you, getting you ready for the weekend. And thank you very much. And I'm going to close the session because it's 1:45 on the head. And see you next time. Ciao.